All right, let me paint a picture. You're working a full time job, you show up on time, you're grinding, you save when you can, maybe skip the coffee, maybe hold off on those new shoes. You're doing what you're told to do. Work hard, be responsible, stack some money, and eventually somehow make it. But here's the problem, you're still broke. Not homeless, not starving, but stuck. Just enough to survive, never enough to breathe. And if you're anything like me, this feeling messes with your head. Because you know deep down, you're not lazy, you're not stupid, you're doing everything right. So why does it feel like you're still standing still while everybody else is passing you? And that's when it hits. You're not behind because you're not working hard. You're behind because you're playing the wrong game. The wealthy people, they figured it out. They're not grinding harder than you, they're not budgeting harder than you. They just learned something that nobody ever taught us. And that thing is leverage. And in today's video, I'm gonna break down exactly what leverage is, how it's used in 2025, and why not understanding it may keep you broke forever. This isn't motivational fluff, this is the cheat code that they forgot to put in school. For starters, what is leverage? Let's break it down like you're sitting across from me at dinner. Leverage is simple, it's doing more with less. More money, more results, more time, but with less energy, less effort, and less hours. It's not a buzzword, it's a strategy. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's say you're building a house. You could either lift every brick yourself, or you could use a forklift. Same exact house, but one way takes a year while the other takes 6 weeks. That forklift, that's leverage. And in real life, there's 5 different types of leverage that actually matter, especially in 2025. First, we have time leverage, doing something once and reaping the benefits forever. Think content, automation, templates, SOPs, things like that. Next up, we have skill leverage, learning the skills that'll pay you 10 times more than generic ones. Think sales, AI, branding, not just working a register. Next up, we have people leverage, hiring freelancers, working with a team, delegating, even if it's just simply someone on Fiverr editing your videos. Next up is money leverage, where you use your capital to grow, like smart debt, investments, and ads, not maxing out your credit card on a random crypto coin and just praying. And finally, we have tech leverage, using tools like AI, Notion, Zapier, ChatGPT. Tools like this can take 3 hours of work and turn it into a 10-minute project. Let me give you a quick real-life example. There's a guy named Andre, and he made a small online business last year that made $2,000 a month. For $200 a month, he then hired a VA to schedule posts and reply to DMs. He used ChatGPT to write newsletters and set up one Zapier automation to send leads directly into his CRM. Now, he makes $9,000 a month and he only works 20 hours a week. Nothing special, he just understood leverage. Next up, let's talk about how rich people actually use leverage. Because here's the thing that nobody wants to admit. Hard work doesn't scale. You only have 24 hours in a day, but a system that can run 24/7. A team that can multiply your output. Money that can buy other people's time. And that's why the rich people keep getting richer. They stopped trading their hours for dollars a very long time ago. Let's talk some real numbers. If you work for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, for $25 an hour, that's $1,000 a week. That's only $52,000 a year before taxes. And after expenses and everything, if you're being generous, that's only saving around $300 a month. And let's say you manage to save $300 a month. That's only $3,600 per year. Now look at this. Somebody builds an online course once and uses online ads to advertise it while they sleep. One of their ads goes viral and they make $15,000 in a single weekend. Did they work harder? No, they just used leverage. Mr. Beast doesn't edit his own videos, Kylie Jenner doesn't package her own products, and small local businesses are using AI chatbots to close leads while they're asleep. And that's the game. Leverage equals escaping the trap of linear income. In section 3, let's talk about why most people stay broke. We were raised on linear thinking. Work harder, save more, and live below your means. But there's no teacher that ever said, hey, maybe you should learn a high leverage skill that could pay you $200 an hour. Instead, we were told to make coffee at home, don't go to Starbucks, and cancel our Netflix subscriptions. But here's what they didn't tell you. You don't have a spending problem. You have an income problem. And income problems? They're simply solved with leverage. In 2020, I met this guy who was making minimum wage, but he was flipping phones on the side. At first, it was just 1 to 2 sales a month. But then he started to use things like Facebook, Instagram DMs, and he just started to advertise. He started to build a mini system. And here we are in 2025, and now he's making $8,000 a month, and he hardly works. He didn't get lucky, he didn't win the lottery, he simply used leverage. And meanwhile, there's somebody working 50 hours a week for $17 an hour and they're drowning in debt. In section 4, I want to talk about how leverage could go wrong. Because let's be real, leverage is powerful, but if you use it wrong, it can and will burn you. People think that leverage is swiping your credit card over and over to invest in yourself or hire a $2,000 a month agency before you even have a product or business, or automating things that you don't even fully understand. But that's not actually leverage, that's financial suicide. An example is there's this guy on TikTok I saw once that used $10,000 of student loan debt to buy a crypto coin. He thought that he was leveraging money to grow money, but crypto ended up tanking and he ended up owing $13,000 with no asset to show for it. That's not investing, that's gambling. And he would have had just as much luck putting that $10,000 on black. Here's a real statistic from TechCrunch. In 2024, over 30% of failed startups listed overinvestment in systems without fully understanding them as a top 3 reason for failure. Okay, lastly, let's talk about how you can start using leverage today to actually benefit you. Step 1 is to pick a high leverage skill. Forget minimum wage skills and pick something that actually scales. Start with something like copywriting, sales, short form content creation, funnel building, AI automation, or email marketing. Just pick one and get dangerous with it. Step 2 is to use the free tools available to you to work smarter. Use things like ChatGPT for brainstorming, outreach scripts, captions. Use things like Notion to organize your business like a pro, or Canva to make it seem like you have your own design team. Then use Zapier to glue it all together. These are free tools that'll give you $1,000 plus results. Step 3 is to build reputable results. Everything you do more than once, document it. Put it in a notebook, put it in a Google Doc. Turn it into a checklist that eventually will turn into a template. And then once you scale a little bit, you'll train somebody to do all that work for you. And then boom, people leverage. Step 4 is to find your first win. Offer your skill for cheap or even free once. Get a result and build confidence. Then you can start raising your prices and scaling. Lastly, step 5 is to reinvest. Take the money you make and buy more leverage. Pay for automation, hire help, buy time. That's how it snowballs. I want you to walk away from this video with one thing burned in your brain. Wealth isn't built by working harder. It's built by working smarter and using leverage to do the rest. So if you're stuck, burnt out, living paycheck to paycheck, it's not because you're lazy and it's not because you suck. It's because you're doing everything yourself and that's a losing game. So here's the challenge. Pick one thing in your life that's draining you and figure out how to replace yourself in it. Whether it's a tool, a system you need to build, or a skill you need to learn, just lock in and do it. Because once you do it once, everything will start to feel different. My name is Brandon, I'm 19, and I'm out here giving you the most relatable financial content on the internet. So if you enjoyed, please drop a like, subscribe, and make sure to watch my next videos because I want to be diving more in depth into some deeper topics. Alright, I'm gonna catch ya.